Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode, the discourse on personality and competency. Remember a typical Indian bride could we care to get her here as a model? Here she is. There's a forehead piece. There is a earring. There is something on a tie on the upper side of the ears. There's a nose ring. There's a pendant with a diamond, to be followed by the auspicious thread, the Mangal Sutra. There are bangles. There are arm ties. There's a belt. There is a ring. May not be a, there will be all four of them. There could be. Then there is a ring on the on the foot finger. There is a tie near the paw. What have you? It's a very, very expensive thing. A father would probably burn his lifetime income in creating these provisions for his daughter's marriage. It comes at a great cost. It comes over a large period of struggle and hard work. These are all the ornaments. These are all the ornaments, and these ornaments qualify the person differently. They qualify the family that the bride belongs to differently. We talk about 50 grams, 80 grams, 100 grams, a kilo. We talk about a 10-gram diamond, 15-gram diamond, 25-gram diamond. These are all ornaments. And there is a direct relationship between why we wear those ornaments and what we wear. There's a direct relationship between what we wear, why we wear, with the personality traits. With the personality traits. There's a direct relationship. And not all that we wear are ornaments. Not all that we wear are ornaments. Similarly, not all that we have among the traits are ornamental traits. Not all we wear are ornamental traits. A slight detour. There's the individuality. There is the individuality. Are you seeing me as an individual? I may not be necessarily as that. I'm playing a role of a researcher, a role of a psychologist, a role of a teacher, a role of a mentor, and a role of creating a new intellectual institution. A new intellectual institution. How do you like that? In that role, my individuality will have to be resting for a while. It is quite possible that my individuality is larger than the role that I'm playing, and it was equally possible that my individuality was much smaller than the role I'm playing, because the roles are demanding of a certain act, a certain measure, a certain way, certain method for a certain situation. There's no liability for and a young man acting as an old man to keep his back bending all the time through life just because he played a wonderful role of an old man. It doesn't mean so. It doesn't mean so. The roles need not be continued. They are brought in for a certain cause, for a certain purpose, and that's it. A tidy, sophisticated, a man who maintains poise could be suddenly seen dancing around and singing a romantic lyric. So far, he looked absolutely out of all this. So, from individuality to role, so I wouldn't have to wear so many things. A film heroine does not take, I'm told, does not take any of the costumes home after the act is done, after the dance is done. She doesn't take, I'm told she doesn't take anything home. She keeps it for the library of the producer. Probably in some other role, the same thing might be required. Who knows? She doesn't take anything of that costume to her home. So, out of that character, she might be walking very humbly to the studio and out. Of course, for security reasons, she may not do this, but she might be walking very humbly, very modestly inside to the studio now and going out of the studio. So, given the feature of the space and the time that we operate, the universe of space and time that we operate, which changes so very frequently. In the morning, I want to have tea, but in the afternoon, I want to have probably probably some curd preparation. 6 o'clock, I don't want to have tea. 6 o'clock, probably I would like to have juice, but I don't use juice as a substitute for my wet tea. It will be a horrendous lifestyle, isn't it? All the teeth will start talking if that is done. We generally don't want too sweet and too sour things early in the morning. And plus, for those who are in talking profession or singing profession will have problems. They'll not be able to clear their throat. Time and space will decide which role to play, which ingredient to have, what subject to talk about, etc. etc. So these ornaments are worn for the occasion. That's a critical point. You're wearing these ornaments for the occasion. That occasion will decide what role you have to play. Besides adjusting your body language, this is the way you stand. Okay, this is how you look. And then you change over to another role. Simple as that. The ornamental traits are the traits that you wear for an occasion to help you stand good in the occasion. That's the ornamental traits. Now, different people will use different traits as ornamental traits. Somebody is not naturally aggressive, but he's in a role that he has to show he's aggressive and make people run for the shelter. So he will be. So he will be. Somebody has to look a saintly, polite man, an absolutely modest man. He may be otherwise a very aggressive person. He may be treating life as a gym. He may be treating life as a bodybuilding exercise. Everything related to body. He might be treating that. But in the role, he has adapted politeness, obedience, modesty, shyness as a virtue. That means, we have a serious analytical exercise to do. That means when I meet a person, I may not be seeing him as a person. Let us stick to a very official terminology on this as an individual. We will not be able to see him as individuality. And the reason is simple. Most of the time we will be able to see only one plane of that colossal challenge called the cube, a Rubik's Cube kind of thing, and a massively challenging act of creating a proper vision. We can have a look at one complete face. We can have a partial look at two faces where the edge of those two faces stands straight in front of me, vertically up. And then I have another choice of creating an isometric view, which we tried to popularize the other day. Three lines split at 120 degrees each. So three partial views, three slant views, which is a difficult thing to happen. I will not be able to get the isometric position, and he will not stay in that position long enough for me to catch up with him. We need to stand steady for a photograph, isn't it? It'll require a very, very smart camera to catch every moment of mine. Because a camera has a residence time, the shot has a residence time, which may be 0.4 seconds, 0.2 seconds, etc. It can't be 0.001 second. We haven't got those cameras as yet. If you're looking at still picture, we may not be able to see the individuality. We would probably see the role, and worst, most confusing, most confounding, worst, we might be stuck with a certain ornamental trait. Like a lady is all in the shine, her nose ring shines miles away in the town. Her pendant is making a massive romantic canvas. Her forehead wear is creating a different look of her forehead and the brows, they start getting highlighted. We never looked at her brows from that angle. Suddenly they become highlighted. They were the same girl, the girl next door, when she is walking to the stage in the garb of a bride, in the garb of the bride, everybody gets up. Everybody gets up to see that scene. They are not seeing, actually, they are not seeing that girl, that young lady. They're not seeing, they're seeing her costume. So maybe borrow a lot of ideas from this, how to read a person. Maybe borrow, shouldn't we? We should. That it'll be impossible, nearly impossible for you to meet an individuality. You neither have the mathematical understanding or the mathematical setup to piece this data together, nor will the other person be interested in giving you a piecemeal data. In the confusion and the confounding, we make galactic figures, magical figures, majestic figures, most beautiful figures in the state of confusion and in the state of being confounded. So may we come to senses now and look at personality, competency from a different perspective. Thank you very much for being with me in this discussion. See you again.